we just did it with, but we are going to have Chris come up. Chris Sacred.
I don't know.
Chris Sacred.
It's just
Did I say it right? I'm having my own show called How to Butcher a Name. It's going to be so successful. It's kind of like Canadian Idol, only different. So come on up, Chris. So Chris is a driver trainer. What else do you do, Chris?
I'm a recruiter.
A recruiter.
Was a driver trainer.
Oh, you were a driver trainer.
Was a driver, road tester. A little bit of everything.
How long have you been with Challenger?
Almost 14 years.
14 years. Oh, wow. See, I knew he was an old guy, but not because of his hair. I'm just kidding.
You're right.
So, over the years, you've probably brought it. So we're going to talk. We've been talking about independent owner-operators, but we're now going to talk about leased-on owner-operators, which is a little different, a little easier. I still suggest a couple years.
Definitely.
What are you suggesting? A couple years for drivers who maybe want to take that leap?
It really all depends on what kind of driving they were doing.
Right.
And what kind of driving the owner-operator position will do.
Right.
So, for example, I've had guys that have, they've been a team driver, maybe the junior of the team driver, and now junior wants to have his own truck and go out and do single open board freight. Well, you're talking two different animals, two different ways of trucking. I think somebody, with any business, I think somebody should get, from a business point of view, get proficient in the business, the knowledge of the business before you take that leap. Look before you leap. Get to know it. If you've never delivered open board freight, how do you know if you're going to be successful? You've got a whole lot more on the line.
Now, you've got a ton of different divisions in Challenger. Someone can come and go to heavies, they can go to oversized, they can go refrigerated. There's a million of. How do you determine? Does an owner-operator come say, I want to haul refrigerated freight, or how do you know where they fit? Is it based on what they've done before, or maybe it's somebody brand new? How do we know what they've done before?
It's very rare would we take a brand new owner-operator and put them in a division that they're not. Again, back to knowing the business they're going to get into.
Right.
If somebody's done nothing but van drive and freight,
Hauling the wind division is probably going to be
he's
an
not
issue,
going
right?
to. He's not anywhere near flatbeds or anything like that, right?
You ever seen those giant wind, they call propellers or whatever they're called? I saw one the other day. It was an airplane wing on a flatbed, and if you look at an airplane, they're always perfectly straight. This one was like this. I don't know if that's the way they are when you're hauling them, but it was just the one wing, right? And it was amazing to see. So you guys get into that kind of freight, right?
Yeah, well, not so much this year. They've backed off a bit of that. I mean, that's kind of contract-driven freight. If somebody decides to start building a lot of windmills, somebody will haul them.
Yeah,
And that it seems the wave it was really big in Ontario there for a little while.
Yeah.
And that seems to have petered off a little bit.
Yeah, they built them all. You guys still hauling beer kegs around? Because those probably the biggest
Not lately.
Challenger. Yeah, you guys were really hot when you were hauling those two big beer vats or whatever they're called.
Well, they done a pretty good move there because they got the people involved and they got the media involved. And
Twitter was abound with you guys.
It was a bit of a genius move because the long and the short of it inconvenienced a hell of a lot of people.
Yeah.
In those days to get those bats up, but they turned it into an event, and the people that were along that route, the residents in that area,
excited to watch it.
Yeah, it became
It was great.
You know what? They actually
a good thing as opposed to a negative thing. So that was a real. Somebody was smart there.
They actually should do more of that to promote the industry because a lot of people outside of our industry actually was watching that game. And now they see what's involved in doing a move like that because it's not just driving down the highway. So if someone's coming into Challenger and they're an owner-operator, what kind of truck do you look at? Do they have to have a certain age of truck?
2010 newer, and has the pass hour pre-hire inspection.
So now we're going into 2018, so that's an 8-year-old truck. That's still pretty.
So that'll change to be 2011.
They'll move it up every year. They move it.
7 years.
7 years, okay. Because a lot of companies are at 5 years, so it's what. So 7 years is good. And does it when they come on? They're already bringing their truck. Do they still have paint codes and all that anymore, or now they come on and kind of be whatever?
No, they get to pick we'll put stickers on the truck. We're not going to put the big stripes and all that stuff. But they can even pick the color of the stickers.
Okay.
To complement their truck.
Yeah.
As long as the truck meets the standard, we don't have many. I think there may be a few old guys that have been kicking around in flatbed division that run their truck. A couple of people lately have gone into the bulk division.
Yeah.
It's got to be the right kind of truck.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, you're hauling garbage to Michigan, so
Yeah.
not every truck can handle that every day.
Right. So who are the successful ones that you've seen in the fleet?
Smart guys.
Smart.
Simple as that.
Well, we're at the Smart Trucker Seminar, so that's a good plan. So, no, but there's, we've been talking, and a lot of that is the mentality of business. I truly believe that that's the difference between. But, people come into this, and we were talking a bit earlier, is people come in and they think, well, I'm going to take days off, or this is now my own business, the flexibility. Do you see that when they come in, or do they come in and go, oh my gosh, I've got to work 8 days a week?
Well, I know for the drivers that I speak to myself that again there's a case where some people have decided after a conversation that this isn't for them because they really didn't do their homework. They just we've all drove truck. You spend a lot of hours just sitting behind the wheel thinking, right, and running away with what ifs and the maybes and doing the math on your finger and just is there a way I can do this and make more money and there has to be, again, back to there has to be the reason for doing it, and then do your homework.
Yeah.
And then when you thought you had all your homework done, do some more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dig right into it. Leave no stone unturned, and then decide if you're making the right move.
Have you seen drivers who see a rate? I've heard this happen where they happen to see an invoice for the border or whatever it was, and they think they're getting ripped off because they're only getting $1 or whatever a mile, and they see the rates at $4 a mile, and they go, "Oh, I'm losing," but they don't understand all the pieces that go in between that. So.
A few times, mostly for company drivers and stuff like that, the odd time they may see something, but for the most part, I would say probably the number one reason is guys want to make what they perceive to be the next step in their career. Right. And I can't say that becoming an owner operator is a bad thing or starting out with your own truck is a bad thing. I mean, we started with one truck and a guy with one truck.
Yeah.
But you got to have the determination to drive, and you got to be smart about it.
Yeah.
And those days were different than they are now. I mean, you didn't have the regulations as bad as what we have these days, or as good as what we have these days. That's the way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, then just do your homework.
Now, does an owner-operator go through all the same training as a driver would? Because I know you guys have quite an extensive training program at Challenger.
Yeah, well,
would they go through all of that?
No, because an owner-operator wouldn't be a new driver.
Right.
So he would still go through the orientation class. We have 4 days of orientation class. We do a lot of things in the orientation time to educate the driver. So it is training.
Right.
If they've never ran a Qualcomm before,
Yeah.
we're going to train them on that. If they've never ran ELDs before, we're going to train them on that.
Yeah.
We even get into trip planning, time management, stuff like that within and then of course then they meet, the HR, the breakdown of the shop, and operations. They meet all the people, customs. They meet people in the different divisions, so they know who to go to. We're one of those companies where there's no one person that can give you the answer for everything.
That's right.
You just got to go where to get the answer.
Now, most companies keep owner-operators at arm's length because they want to keep that independence. They don't want them to look like they are salaried drivers. So what, I know that you guys have a system where a lot of people have dedicated border people behind the scenes should they run into trouble, or dispatch or what have you. Do they still have that as an owner-operator?
Owner-operators are treated no differently at all.
Okay.
No, they're not dispatched differently. They're not treated differently. We have for example, a fuel management department. So, I mean, there's a bunch of guys somewhere, Jill probably knows who they are, sitting in a little corner of the building, and all they're looking at is fuel prices throughout North America. That's it. And so when one of our company trucks gets dispatched to a location, suggested fuel stops along that route is going to be relayed to the truck, right? And, you can try here, that, that are part of our network. We also send that stuff to the owner-operator trucks.
Okay, that's good.
So they're not being, we have this knowledge and we're not telling you.
That's good.
If they're successful, we're successful.
Partnership.
Yeah, but for a lot of the fleets that I've worked with that have had owner-operators, there's a tension there. They always think the drivers are getting better loads, or the drivers think the owner-operators are getting better loads, or there's favoritism. I've seen it for 20 years. I've seen it in my career for it doesn't sound like they have that.
I mean, if anything, I would probably say that an owner-operator probably has a little bit more pull because it's his truck. right? I mean, it's not our truck parked against the fence not making money, it's his truck against the fence making money. So if, Mike could probably speak to this as well, because he was an owner operator there.
Yeah.
I mean, if he wants to take some time off, there's nobody that can really say, well, sorry man, this is the wrong time of year. We have you rolling, it's his business, right? So, yeah, I've never and I've known owner operators that work there, work beside them. Never heard anybody complain about any kind of separate rules for each. Everybody's the same.
Are you able to project miles out for an owner operator to let them know, okay, here's the rough income? They should probably already know that. If everybody's running legal, you do 2,500 miles a week is what I'm still working at. But I know you can get more than that. But are you able to say to somebody, we've got the capacity to give you 2,500 miles a week? And
They'll get the same answer a company driver would, because they're going to be dispatched to the same locations. First in, first out.
okay, so
If you're available, it doesn't matter what the stripe is on the truck. If you're the first guy waiting in line, so to speak, you get the load.
Oh, okay, good. That's great.
And there's no, between the planners and the driver managers that are, you get a driver manager and his group, and then another driver manager and another one, and they all have a bunch of trucks. There's no owner operator board.
Right.
These guys are just mixed in with the file. Right?
Yeah, because I've seen that. Usually the 5 numbers at the bottom, and we know that one.
And from a business point of view, I can kind of see it. It kind of makes sense. You're looking after your own before anything else, but it's never been that way.
No, and it depends how the fleet's made up. I'm not saying that they are, but where I've seen that is fleets that were predominantly driver fleets, and they've now expanded. They've put on like maybe 10 owner operators, and that now becomes part of the problem. Do we have any questions? I know we have people. Any questions? We're talking leased on, but we'll entertain any questions. Any questions for owner operators for Chris? No. It looks like
Mike wants to be one again.
Sign it up. You got me convinced.
Yeah.
I'm convinced.
Do you think they'll take him? I don't know if he's got
I
the
don't know if I
experience.
That's the road test, man.
I don't know if I qualify.
Scary part.
The scary part for all of us has been out of the seat for a while.